learners, thank you for tuning in for our math literacy practice and application section based on tariffs, specifically the municipal and the telephone tariffs. The first practice question is, Zain lives with his child and his sister. They share the electricity bill proportionally. A says, how much will their bill for the month if they used 200 kilowatts per hour? B. So we check now on our graph. We check that for 200 units used, how much is the bill? You can take your ruler, you draw a straight line towards the line of the units, the amounts, then you take it across to see where does it align to. So it is exactly as at 200. Luckily with this graph, they've given us the units used. So it means the amount will be 200 rand for using 200 units. The next question says, calculate Zain's sister's share of the bill. How do we calculate Zain's sister's share? We must remember that the previous statement said they share the electricity bill proportionally. So it means they are sharing it according to a proportion. Therefore, we must write now their proportions as a ratio. So Zain has his daughter with, so it means there's two of them in the house while the sister is on her own. So it means there's one. So this is Zain and this is the sister. So I wrote it as ZS. Then now, whenever we are calculating ratios and we want to find the proportion, it means we have to add and find the total parts. So we say for total parts, we will have 2 plus 1, which is 2, which is the portion of Zain, and 1, which is the portion of his sister. Then 2 plus 1 gives us 3 parts. Now that we've calculated our total parts to be 3 parts, now we have to calculate Zain's sister's portion only. The main focus should be on the 1 because that is the sister's portion. So whenever we write it, we would say 1 part, which is the sister's portion, divided by the total parts of the entire household, which is 3 of them, and then multiplied by the amount which we calculated in our previous question, and that amount was 200 rand. So it means Zain's sister will only pay 1/3 of the total amount that was calculated to be their bill. So let us punch it on our calculator and see what we get. So we'll say 1/3 multiplied by 200, and then it gives us 66 rand. There's a lot of sixes there, so let's just take the first 4, but we know that with money we are only focusing on the last two, the first 2 digits after the comma. So we'll round it off, so it will give us 66 rand 67 cents. So this is the amount that Zain's sister will pay at the end of the month. The next question, question 2 says, Mpho received these 2 payment plans. A says, identify the billing structure for A and B. Let's look at A. A, when we look at A, our graph does not start from the origin. It starts at a certain amount. So it means A becomes our contract billing. So you write there that A is our contract billing. And then B, when we look at B, the graph starts at the origin, so B becomes what? Yes, it becomes our prepaid billing. Then the next question, how many minutes are free? How many minutes are free? So we look at the contract billing. With our contract billing, we know that the 100 rand is a fixed cost, but then it is constant up until a certain number. So if we were to assume that, not assume, but estimate that this line here, it is between 0 and 20, so it is halfway through, then we can estimate that the number of minutes that are free are 10 minutes because that line seems to be halfway through 0 to 20. Then question C says, the cost of the graph is a variable. So the cost of a graph is what? This is our dependent variable. This is our dependent variable. Why do we say it's a dependent variable? Because this cost depends on how many minutes that you have spent. Then D says, how much will Zain pay for using 50 minutes on prepaid? We go to our minutes, we check. We don't have our numbers, our intervals are counting from 0 to 80 in 20s. So now it means 50 should be estimated to be somewhere in the middle between 40 and 60. So when we draw our line, we try to be as accurate as possible. It gives us that point there. And then when we cross it over to our cost, it gives us 300. So it means Zain will pay 300, approximately 300 rands for using 50 units in that month. Let's take a quick break, then we'll continue afterwards.